What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Jake Talks Wrestling, man. It's been a while. I've not done a video since the All In vlog, man. It was good. The All In vlog was fun. Had a lot of fun in London. But there's been wrestling happening. A lot of wrestling. Yes, bro. What's going on?
Jake, brother, check your TikTok now.
Mate, I'm recording a video now. Can you wait?
Brother, I do not care. I've never been more serious in my life. Check your fucking TikTok right now, I swear to God.
Right, alright, so I'll check it now.
Right, see you in a bit.
See you in a bit, mate. What the fuck does he mean, check my TikTok? Right, I'll check my TikTok.
So here we are at Barstool Sports, and we promised you we had a huge announcement today. And here it is. We have a full video coming out later in the week, but we want to get this announcement to you as promised. We signed the contract today. We will be coming back for one more match. So I am wrestling one more match, and it will be for AEW. All Elite Wrestling. We don't know exactly when.
Fuck off.
Exactly where.
Fuck off. Well, I mean, if he's having one last match, it's going to be against Chuck Taylor, right? Oh yeah, he retired. And I suppose the next best option is Chris Statlander then, that's obvious, and I guess we can get back to the vet. Warner Bros. Discovery wouldn't put intergender wrestling on television, would they? Fuck it, the original video's scrapped. Well, if Big AJ's back, this won't work. I gotta find me some gym shorts, a hat, and the tightest shirt I own.
We bring the boom! That's what we do! We bring the boom! We bring the boom to you! We bring the...
So, after the dumbest intro of all time, what are we here to talk about? Obviously, we're here to talk about Big AJ, Eric Justice, the Costco dad, former, I guess, once again, current pro wrestler, bringer of the boom! He's coming back to wrestling, he's doing one more match in AEW. So, I thought, why don't I go through the entire AEW men's roster and the people who aren't named on the official AEW website but are signed in on the Wikipedia, because as I went through I realised, hey, Grizzly Young Vets aren't here, and there were more names on there. And why don't I also put another person who's kind of AEW adjacent and is on TV? And I came away with 136 names, so we're gonna eliminate them down from 136 down to one person. One name, one final match for Big AJ. So, obviously, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to talk about 136 different wrestlers individually. That would be insane. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through rounds of elimination. We're going to eliminate everyone until we have the finalists. In fact, before we start, let me just make sure my math's right. Let me just make sure my math. If I'm going on there, let me just double check that my math is right. It's 136 wrestlers. 132 is the real number. I can't remember if I said that originally, then said 136, or if I've always been saying 136. I'm just stupid. But there's 132 people we are going to talk about, not so much discuss. So let's go through it. Let's start with 132 and let's whittle it down to one. So first of all, let's just get the first round of eliminations out the way. This category is quite simply people I don't want to see. Anthony Ogogo, Brandon Cutler, Chris Jericho, Colt Cabana, Jay Lethal, Max Caster, Michael Nakazawa, Peter Avalon, Paul White, Sammy Guevara. All 10 of these dudes gone. Second round of elimination then, it's very simple. I don't know how long this is going to be. Big AJ probably has to get in a ring shape. It could be, maybe 6-ish months away from his return to the ring, and I guess his swan song from the ring. These are just guys that probably won't be there by the time he has a match, and that's Miro, Penta, Rey Fenix, and Ricky Starks. So all 4 of these guys are also gone. Now we get to our first bigger portion of names here. These are guys who just don't really make sense due to their position on the card. Kind of lower down the card. Obviously with this match, it's probably going to be someone that's more known, gets a little bit more TV time. It's not going to be against someone that doesn't really see a lot of TV. So because of that, I've eliminated all these guys here. Aaron Solo, Angelico, Angelo Parker, Aria Daivari, Boulder, Bronson, Carly Bravo, Dutch, EJ Nduka, Eva Luno, Griff Garrison, Johnny TV, Josh Woods, Kip Sabian, Matt Menard, Nick Comoroto, Serpentico, Sean Dean, Tony Nese, and Vincent. Now, I'm not saying that all those guys are jobbers, obviously not, and I love a lot of those wrestlers, but they just don't really feel in a position on the card and none of them feel right, and that's mostly due to kind of card position. Oh, also Zach Knight, sorry to just name drop you by yourself here at this part, buddy, but Zach Knight also is in that list there. So this next section of eliminations are guys in the right sort of area on the card, but they just don't feel right for this. These are guys that are maybe a little bit more well known, they maybe had bigger moments with AEW, big kind of guys on social, but just, I don't think they fit here. I don't think this feels right. I don't think this feels right for Big AJ's one last match. So we're saying goodbye to Action Andretti, AR Fox, Bandito, Brian Keith, Brian Cage, Cole Carter, Dralistico, Hook, Keith Lee, Killswitch, get well soon, Commander, Lance Archer, Lee Moriarty. I've just realised Lee Moriarty is in this list twice, so it's 131. Matt Sydal, Nick Wayne, Preston Vance, Ortiz, Rush, Scorpio Sky, Shane Taylor, Tommy Bellingham, Trent Beretta, and Wardlow. These guys are also now out of contention. They're out of here. They get a doom. Really don't love a lot of these wrestlers. Fourth round out are just tag teams as a whole. So Bishop Khan and Toa Leona, they're gone. Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, they're also gone. Dante and Darius Martin, they're gone. James Drake and Zach Gibson, they're gone. Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, they're also gone. Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, gone. And Ross and Marshall Von Erich also are gone. And I know what you're thinking, that's not the entire AEW tag division, Jake, you loser. And you would be correct, because we'll find out. The next category is guys in tag teams who I don't want there. I would rather maybe see their partner wrestle, and that's maybe giving a spoiler to the short list, or I guess the long list. I guess the short list, because we've cut it down from 131. 3 names here: Alex Reynolds, Mark Quinn, and The Blade. Thank you for your service. And finally, the last round of eliminations are guys who just, they're too high up the card, or like it just won't be. Adam Cole, Adam Copeland, Adam Page, Brody King, Bryan Danielson, Buddy Matthews, Claudio Castagnoli, Daniel Garcia, Darby Allin, Eddie Kingston, Jack Perry, Katsuyori Shibata, Kazuchika Okada, Kenny Omega, Konosuke Takeshita, Kota Ibushi, Malachi Black, MJF, Pac, Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricochet, Samoa Joe, Shelton Benjamin, Swerve Strickland. So, we have now narrowed the field from 131 down to 30. Now, our list of eligible professional wrestlers to bring the BOOM to Big AJ's last match are as follows: Anthony Bowens, Austin Gunn, Big Bill, Billy Gunn, Christian Cage, Colton Gunn, Danhausen, Dustin Rhodes, Hologram, Isaiah Cassidy, Jeff Jarrett, John Silver, Juice Robinson, Kyle Fletcher, Kyle O'Reilly, Mansoor, Mark Briscoe, Mark Davis, Mason Madden, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, Satnam Singh, Stokely Hathaway, The Beast Mortos, The Butcher, Tomohiro Ishii, Truth Magnum, Turbo Floyd, Wheeler Yuta, and Will Ospreay. That is our 30 final contenders for Big AJ's last match in professional wrestling. So now let's whittle it down to 1. So 30 is obviously an insane number of people to have as finalists. So I guess this is the short list. We're going to whittle this down to the top 10. These guys here are in no particular order. The top 10 will be ordered. These guys are just guys that I love and I think would be a lot of fun, but for one reason or another just did not make the cut to this final 10. So I guess really the last round of cuts are the guys I really like for this, but just not as much as I like other people. So the first name we are eliminating right now is Danhausen. My king. I love Danhausen. Just a few things here. He might be on the outs with the company. He hasn't been on TV for a while. He's been kind of dealing with injuries quite a lot the past couple of years. Kind of feels like the company maybe moved on in his absence. He's obviously killing it. He's still a fucking amazing actor. I think Danhausen is brilliant. But if it is going to just be one match and one match only, I think I would rather it be with someone who's on TV more. And yeah, Big AJ said one match. So that's what we're looking at. One single match. Next out, unfortunately, is John Silver. Tag team partner, a friend of the channel, Alex Reynolds. I love the Meat Man. Being the elite legend. What a hero. I just think he's not been on TV as much. And I said earlier, you kind of want someone who has been on TV a little bit more. Has a bit more of a presence on the product. I love the Meat Man, but once again, if it's one single match, I just can't justify giving it to John Silver here. Next out then, Satnam Singh. I love Big Satnam Singh. I think he's great. Also, we know that Jeff Jarrett's boys love getting up to nonsense. Roll the clip. Roll the other clip. What's not to love? Unfortunately, he just doesn't make the cut, as there are more people I would rather see. Next out then is the King, Billy Gunn, Daddy Ass, AEW's premier dad. I love Billy Gunn. But he's a hero, he's a legend, he's an icon, he's proven himself to be one of the more valuable assets to AEW. One of the bigger names in wrestling history, especially within AEW's halls at the moment. I just think if it's one single match, once again, I don't want to see the world's beefiest dads thrown down the most. I do want to see the world's beefiest dads thrown down, but not for one. If it's the only match, Billy Gunn's got to go. If we're getting rid of Daddy Ass, we may as well get rid of Rod and Todd Ass. The Gun Club, baby. Austin and Colton Gunn. I love them, but if it's going to be one last match, it's probably going to be a singles match. I don't really see him doing a tag match here. I want to see Austin Gunn eat a big AJ power slam. He's maybe the funniest wrestler in the world, but like I say, if it's one single match, the tag team has to go. Same rules apply to the Outrunners. If a tag team has to go, a tag team has to go. I want to see him wrestle the Outrunners a tiny little bit more than I want to see him wrestle the Guns. But if we're kicking out one tag team, that means we also have to kick out the Outrunners. However, we'll talk about my next person I'm eliminating, Juice Robinson. He's perfect in almost every way. Juice Robinson is almost perfect for this. I want to see him win and then crawl around and do the dog piss thing. I think he's like the most insane person on the AEW roster. However, the vision, walk with me, the vision is clear. On this side of the ring, the Outrunners and Big AJ. On this side of the ring, the Bang Bang Gang. Trios match. Jay White can be doing main event series stuff. Juice and the Guns versus the Outrunners and Big AJ is so good. And when I thought about that, I started liking that more than the idea of a Big AJ Juice Robinson singles match. So because of that, Juice has had to go. Next out then, Dustin Rhodes. What a fucking late career revival this man has had. He's a real utility player. He's one of the best assets and arguably a top 10 signing in AEW history. He can do it all. If you want him to go out for the first match, he can do that. If you want him to go out and put on a barn burner in the main event, he can do that. And he's shown that, you know, a million times. The Bunkhouse, that match that he just had against the Kingdom with Sammy, there's also that. The match with Cody. I love Dustin. I think he's great. But for the same reasons we have to get rid of Daddy Ass, we have to get rid of Dustin here. I just like Dustin for it. You know, he's a few spots ahead of Daddy Ass for me. Next up then is Wheeler Yuta. By the time AJ is ring ready, he'll probably be a super serious TNT champion. He'll get revenge on the Bad Bald Men for trying to murder his biological father. Then he'll kill Jack Perry. Then he'll be super serious Yuta. I've also eliminated him because I found out that his real name is Paul Gruber. Yuck. Wheeler Yuta gets a boom, but Paul Gruber gets a big doom. Next out then is Hologram, one of the most exciting luchadors in the world right now, one of the most exciting wrestlers, full stop, in the world right now. I absolutely love Hologram. But from the old Eric Justice tape I was watching on YouTube, what I could find, I didn't see him base for no small guys. I don't know who he's like basing for no small guys. I don't want to see him or Hologram land on their heads very bad and die in the ring. I'm not sure it's the best stylistic match. I don't know what he's going to be like in the ring. I don't think he's going to move like the Beast Mortos. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I love Hologram, but I have safety concerns. So Hologram's gone. Next out then, Big Bill. Love Big Bill. This match won't be in Cardiff, so it doesn't make any sense. Next out then is The Butcher. The Butcher is one of my favourite wrestlers in the world, man. I think Andy is so underrated. He's just such a fucking cool guy. He does a cool knee walk thing. Look at that. That's so cool. Looks like a wrestler with his monocle, and then he had the Dean Malenko gear. I love The Butcher. I could just talk about The Butcher for a whole video. I think he's incredible. Andy, please come on the channel and let me interview you. I love you so much. I think the main reason he's so high is I just want him on TV. Two big men going at it. Jim Ross described The Butcher as a tattooed freight train. Just two big heifers going at it. Like I say, I don't want him on TV. The reason he made it this far is just by sheer unadulterated love for him. But as we got closer and closer to one wrestler, eventually The Butcher had to be eliminated. The final team to be eliminated is MXM Collective. Now, I know that I eliminated those teams earlier, and I was like, same rules apply. The team's got to fucking go. Get them out of here. But if there is a team I want to see him wrestle, I don't know who his partner would be. If there is a team I want to see him wrestle, I think it's MXM the most. If there's a team I want to see him do a trios match with, know the Outrunners would be good. But it's MXM. Imagine the promos when he shows up in his shorts and his tight Noble t-shirt and his cap, and they're in their fucking designer gear. And they're his friends. He did a TikTok with him. I love MXM Collective, but like I say, this will probably be a singles match. We're thinking about this for one last singles match. for Big Eric Justice and MXM Collective. I'm so sorry. I love you both so much, but you're gone. Next out then is Anthony Bowens. I love Bowens. I probably would have been in the top 10, but the more I thought about it, I was like, we don't get a Bowens singles match just in general. It would be a tag team match. Max Caster was eliminated back in round 1, if you remember. So it doesn't excite me as much. I would like to see Max Caster get cooked by Big Justice in a rap battle. But apart from that, as long as Bowens is still shackled to the anchor that is Max Caster, this is never going to happen as a singles match, so Bowens is gone. Next out then is Will Ospreay. He's probably the guy the highest up the card who would do it. Ospreay fucking loves shenanigans. We also saw that Big AJ gave Will Ospreay a big boom back at All Out. I know he likes Will Ospreay. Like I say, Will Ospreay loves a bit of good old-fashioned shenanigans. I just don't want to see Big Justice watch his dad eat 17 hidden blades. And I don't want to watch my king eat 17 hidden blades. So Will Ospreay, you're gone. We're nearly at the top 10. At number 12 out of this list of 30 is Isaiah Cassidy.
Now he is...
What's that?
Getting...
Look at this. Are you listening? Isaiah Cassidy. And the last man eliminated before we have 10 left is Kyle Fletcher from my Aussie Open shirt that's a little bit too tight. See, it's there's meaning, there's depth, there's foreshadowing. I want to see Instagram versus Big AJ. I want to see Instagram wrestle Big AJ on TNT. Do it. Do it, you fucking cowards. So now we have 10 men left. Here they are up the top of the screen. Look at them. Who do you think it's going to be? Coming in at number 10 is Tomohiro Ishii. I love the Stone Pitbull. Stone Pitbull is in a conglomeration, and the conglomeration feel like the perfect people. The perfect place to put them in. It's just good place on the card. Silly fun. But I think out of all of the people in the conglomeration, Tomohiro Ishii is the one that has to go out first. Big AJ is a big unit. Tomohiro Ishii is also a big unit. I love when two big units just get in the ring and wrestle. But Tomohiro Ishii, he's laying that shit in, bro. He's so fucking... He's just maybe the scariest man I've ever seen in real life. And I don't know if Tomohiro Ishii would tone it down enough to not beat the living shit out of a retired professional wrestler turned TikToker. So, Tomohiro Ishii, you're in the top 10, but you have to go. And at number 9 is Jeff Jarrett, and I know I eliminated Dustin and Daddy Ass for being kind of older journeymen, and I don't really want to see the battle of the dads, but come on, man. It's Jeff Jarrett. He is going out ultimately for the same reasons that Daddy Ass and Dustin went out, but I love him so much, he still made it to the top 10. And at number 8 is Roderick Strong. Maybe one of the sneaky funniest wrestlers in the world. I think he's amazing. He's just so funny. Remember when he had his neck brace and he was shouting this? I think he's really, really funny. And I think the promos would be great. I know obviously he's doing a super serious, big, scary, bad guy thing. But it's Roddy. He can switch it off, do like a month of promos with Big AJ. Have the fun match with Big AJ. And then the next week come out and like go after Mox, who'll probably be the champ at the time. And kill him with a backbreaker, and everyone will go like, oh, Roddy is a killer. I completely forgot. That's on me. I think as well, like Ospreay is a guy positioned higher up the card, but is not afraid to get up to some nonsense, as we saw with all this. And I also think he's one of the guys who would be able to tone down how stiff he works and just not murder Big AJ in the ring. Great pick, top 10. Definitely wouldn't care if I saw Roderick Strong wrestle Big AJ. And at number 7 then is Kyle O'Reilly. Everything I said about Roddy goes double for O'Reilly. Funny as fuck, incredible worker, lays it in stiff, but I also think has the ability to not lay it in so stiff that he's not beating the shit out of a TikToker, probably like 40s to 50s. Beating the shit out of a dad. He's also in the conglomeration. Everyone in the conglomeration is a great pick for my money. Like I say, a great pick here. But he comes in at number 7. And in at number 6 is his conglomeration stablemate, Mark Briscoe. Where my motherfucking conglomerator's at, baby. Let's go. Mark Briscoe is just an icon, man. And he's a man with enough silliness in his blood. He'd probably do this for the ROH World title, for the crack, for no reason other than the crack. He's so committed to the bit of just being up to nonsense all the time. I love Mark Briscoe. He's the right mix of great worker to the point he'd be able to guide AJ through this, so it's not just another celebrity match. He's a good enough worker. He's a brilliant worker, I think, to the point he would be able to kind of guide this match out of the spectacle, look at this realm, and into something a lot of fun that can, be more than what it is, and also has enough 80s babyface nonsense in him that he feels almost perfect for the occasion to wrestle a TikToker. I love Mark Briscoe, but he is here at number 6. So we're down to the top 5, and kicking off the top 5 is this man right here, Dunkzilla Mark Davis. A man not averse to silliness. Look at this. Look at him. If I remember correctly, the Anti-Fun Police, these guys swapped bodies with Aussie Open, and they were sexy cops at a wrestling show. Or maybe they were the sexy cops having fun and the Anti-Fun Police came to beat them up. But look at this photo. He loves a bit of silliness. I love Kyle Fletcher. I'm a card-carrying Fletchlight. But Mark Davis is one of my favourite wrestlers of all time. I think he's one of the most underrated guys on the planet. And he's also a man who, like I've mentioned, loves dicking about. If we want to have just your normal big guy versus big guy chops and punches and kicks and slams, Big AJ and Mark Davis, just two big beefy lads throwing just big moves at each other. I don't think if we're just going to have a standard big man versus big man match, we can look past Mark Davis. So Mark Davis is in the top 5. Number 4, let's not overthink it, Christian Cage. I need him to look Big Justice in the eye, tell him he's going to make him an orphan, and then tell him he's going to adopt him right after. That's it. In at number 3 then is Stokely Hathaway. He's got a record. He's wrestled Hook. I watched him wrestle at Wembley. Got a win that time when Stat threw him on that guy. He's a wrestler. If Warner Bros. Discovery had balls, they would let Chris Statlander wrestle AJ in his final match, like I mentioned earlier. With Stokely on the outside noising up Big Justice, only for the wrestler to come in, make the save, and power slam him through the announce table. But they won't let us have that. This is as close as the woke mob will let us come to watching Chris Statlander eat the boom slam. I've decided that's the name of his finisher. And kick out at 1. The woke mob won't let us have it. The woke mob won't let us have the wrestler punch Stokely Hathaway on live TV. So we've settled for the next best thing and have him wrestle Stokely Hathaway. Obviously we know Big Justice gave Willow a big boom! And if we want to extend the story of Stat versus Willow with Stoke, whatever, I guess we can maybe do a mixed tag match. I guess it's a tag match I'd be the least averse to seeing him do, but he says one more match, probably not going to be that. And even if we're not still running the Willow and Stat thing, probably 6 months in the future, which we probably won't be, we can just have Stoke backstage talking shit to Big Justice and getting called out. Like I say, if he has more than one match, if he does like a little fun month stint where he does some promos, has some couple tune-up matches on TV against a couple like local guys, then against Stoke, that'd be fun. If we're going to get more than one match, I would like to see him in the ring with Stokely Hathaway. But if we are only getting one match, that's not going to happen. However, he does take home the bronze medal here. I want to see Big AJ wrestle the 6'5" king with a questionable credit score, Stokely Hathaway. Number 2 then is the Beast Mortos. Probably my favourite wrestler in the world right now. I love him. He's amazing. Is he this high because I love him so much? A little bit. Is he this high because it's objectively the best decision ever if Big AJ wrestles a Minotaur on live TV? Yes. The Beast Mortos has been an absolute blast lately. After his barn burner with Hologram, and then he's been in the multi-man matches. He had that really good match with Ricochet on TV as well. Promo of the year? Promo of the year? I think the Beast Mortos is a lot of fun. His stock is rising massively, and I think, a man who dresses like a Minotaur and goes on AEW and talks about being a Minotaur isn't going to be averse to wrestling Big AJ. I think it'd be a lot of fun here. I also think in terms of a big guy versus big guy match, it'd also be a lot of fun to see Mortos then switch it up and do his sort of lucha spots and be quicker and fizzing about the place. I think this match would be a lot of fun, and honestly it was my number 1 pick when I thought of this video idea, and then we just kind of brought it down, whittled it down, and I realised that there's one man ahead of him. Let's not overthink it. It's Orange Cassidy. I said at the start of the video it should be Chuck Taylor, and in a just world it would be Chuck Taylor. He'd be backstage every Wednesday, they'd all be friends. In an ideal world, Big AJ would have his own tie-dye best friend's tracksuit, he'd be hanging out with them backstage, and Chucky T would challenge him to a gentleman's match on Dynamite for one last go in the ring, and it would be that. But unfortunately, Chuck Taylor has retired, so let's go for the next best thing. Orange Cassidy is one of AEW's biggest stars, probably the closest thing to like a homegrown star, with the exception of Max, I guess. One of the biggest homegrown stars in the world. He's really came on leaps and bounds, and everyone used to think of him as a comedy guy, and he's carried that company on his back. Probably my favourite title reign in AEW history. But also, like, just objectively the silliest man in the world. He's also not a guy who's going to wrestle rings around AJ and gas him out and not do that in a way that the crowd would be bored. He can take it slow to kind of work around Big AJ getting back into a ring for the first time in however long, and it's all part of his act and it's all part of his gimmick, and everyone would love it. The clips would go massive on TikTok, on socials, and that is obviously a part of this, but I do think maybe the most fun would be Orange Cassidy. And he's in the conglomeration. The conglomeration win again, where my motherfucking conglomerator's at. So that is it. From 131 names down to one. Orange Cassidy versus Big AJ. One last match. So I hope you enjoyed this video, this really dumb video. God, this is long. Thank you guys so much for watching this stupid video. Please subscribe and stay around for more. I promise I'll really talk about wrestling and not just do this. But I had a lot of fun thinking of this. I think this video's been a lot of fun. Subscribe if you are new around here. Leave your comments down below and let me know who you think Big AJ should wrestle in his one last match. And welcome to the Madness of Pro Wrestling if you searched Big AJ on YouTube and found this video. Thanks so much for watching. Like, share and subscribe. Show it to all your mates. Let them know that Big AJ's having one last match and we'll all get back into wrestling. We'll all come around mine and have a watch party. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you later.